You don't want to see what I've been playing? Get out of there.
What have you playing this week?
With his penis.
I'm so glad Gianni's here.
They turn it up. It's the Mega Black. I am.
What's up, people? Welcome to the GSC podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lauchi. Joined this week, as always, by Johnny,
Hello.
Jamie C,
Hello.
and Gianni.
Hello.
How's it going, lads?
Yeah.
Feeling good? I'm feeling
Loving
good.
it.
Feeling
Yeah.
really good, man. Let's start as we always do with what we've been playing this week. Johnny, tell me
Yeah.
about what you have been playing this week, my son.
Tell you about Dark Souls PC.
Fucking tell you something about Dark Souls PC.
So yeah, unlike you, I didn't get the PS3 version. I just waited for the PC, and it came out. Was it last week? Yeah, last week.
Last
it
Friday,
came out.
yeah.
Last Friday. So I've been playing a bit of that. It's amazing, yeah.
Do you know how good of a decision you made, man?
It's the best decision
Seriously.
of my life.
I beat it twice on PS3.
Did you twice?
It's like playing a different game, man. On
Bloody
PC,
hell.
so much better, so much better.
There's a big difference from the
Yeah.
console and PC.
Not only does it look better, like it's almost like playing a different game, man, with the 60 FPS frame rate.
Really?
So much smoother. But it's 30 FPS on PS3,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
and it's really really noticeable in this game. In this game, where like the slightest like difference in frames or whatever will like get you hit or save you. Like being able to time it perfectly now it's like a game changer. If anything, it's made it harder for me to play it.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like
That's being
I
more
was-
precise.
playing like trash, absolute trash, which people will see soon because I have some gameplay recorded, ready to go up.
Hello.
Yeah, it's like completely different, man. I went from being pretty damn good, or at least in my opinion, pretty damn good, blowing my own horn, to like playing like absolute garbage and getting used to the 60 FPS, man. It's taken a while, but it's good. Really liking it, man. But how far in are you?
So I'm is called the Pursuer, the first real boss fight, I guess he is, isn't he? The Pursuer.
I don't know. Have you already beat the last giant?
No. Where's he?
Well, you need to beat the last giant before you get the key to get to the pursuer. So
Oh right, well looks like I'm trying to find the last giant then.
there is a way that you can fight the pursuer before that. He sort of shows up halfway through the level if you
Okay.
go up a ladder. Have you met him there? Yeah.
No, I haven't met him at all yet. I've just you know where that huge sword is like digging into the side of that castle?
Oh yeah.
Like that stone sword. That's where I am. That's pretty much where I've just got to.
Okay,
I
cool.
thought the Pursuer was around there. He is, isn't he? He's-
He is in the same area. Yeah. Once you beat the last giant, which is the boss that you're coming up to,
Okay, well then
you'll get a key that will unlock the door. So then you can fight the pursuer whenever.
I see. So yeah, that's where I am, and really enjoying it. I'm very surprised with how good the PC port is, because as you know, Dark Souls 1 was absolutely awful on PC.
Yeah, mate. I'm surprised as well. Like this is, as far as I know, this is the only game that they've made for PC since Dark Souls 1 on PC, right?
It is, yeah.
And they've managed to improve it this much to the point where it's better than its console release. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
really,
exactly.
really impressive.
Really responsive, and you can tell that they've taken a lot of time making this PC version. So yeah, fair play FromSoft. Well done.
Awesome, man. You been up to anything else?
That is pretty much it for me. Just been Dark Souls.
All right, fair play, man. Jamie, talk to me. What you been up to,
Ah, I needed to yawn right at that moment. Look. No, that wasn't. Oh god, that wasn't an attack on Dark Souls. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I started the week with Grid 2. For the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
I thought it would just be a yeah. I thought
sorry
it would be
about
a pick up and play, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought I'd like delete it off the hard drive after a couple of days while I was waiting for my next game to come. But no, I think I'll leave it and go back to it a bit. It's enjoyable.
I liked Grid 1. Who was it that
I
didn't like
didn't.
Grid 1?
I didn't like
I
Grid
liked
1.
Grid.
I don't know why I'm liking this one then. Maybe
you're weird.
because since that I got quite a bit of a Forza thing going on and got back into driving a bit, and
Now you can
Yeah.
appreciate.
now I can really appreciate the turns and the,
Did they
the
have your
tyre
name?
pressure.
Did they have your name in the driver selection thing?
I love
They
that.
have my name? I didn't look for it. I just called him Randy and left it as player 1.
Fair enough.
So now I am Randy player 1.
Hello, Randy.
I know, right? It's just nice to hear them shout Randy at me. There was one time actually.
Sharon.
I'm gonna bring this up quickly then, because Colin McRae had my name on it, and then you have your co-driver, don't you? The one who reads the map,
Yeah.
and mine was female, and so like my wife turned to me and went, "Why is that woman saying your name? What is this?" so I'm not gonna be Jamie in games anymore. Not like that, no. But no, that's all right. But Child of Light's just come out, so that's what I've been waiting for. That's been the business. I'm on that now.
Child of Light. So,
I should like it, should I?
well, this is the thing with you, right? You say you don't like JRPGs, and then you love games like Ni no Kuni and this. Like,
Because they offer a different stand on things. Like, it's
the
not
problem is,
turn-based, is it? Because you're strategically playing out the moves.
the thing is, I think you secretly like JRPGs. You just are so coloured by old school Final Fantasy, like all line up and take turns hitting each other, that you don't give them enough of a chance.
It's true.
RPGs haven't been like that for a good few years, man.
Well, no, and I'm, you say I like Ni no Kuni. I enjoyed Eternal Sonata.
You're a
That's
closet
probably
JRPG
it. I'm a
sexual.
closet jerk.
You need the Tales series in your life, man. I think you'd love them.
No, don't push that on him. The Tale series you'll find are probably god awful, because I think they're absolutely.
They're good, man. Trust me, they are good.
They've got a niche following. We'll give him that, but
really good.
it's not on the same level as you can't turn around and say if you like Ni no Kuni you're gonna like the Tales. You can't. You just cannot.
I reckon Tales of Vesperia is better than Ni no Kuni.
Why don't you admit you're just a fanboy? You've been banging this
Yeah,
drum.
alright. It's currently my favourite RPG series, right? Or my favourite game series, I would say. But why not, man? They've been holding the torch for the JRPG for the last... How long's Square been shit now? Don't know why I just looked at my watch that doesn't exist. It's been about, 10
And what,
years,
your watch
man.
has the records of, your watch is like a wiki source of Square, is it?
Maybe.
I'm not getting into an in-depth conversation about it, but they're well overhyped. No. Anyway, continue,
yeah.
Jamie, as you were.
The thing with the likes of Ni no Kuni is you can plan your moves, you run around the ground, and that was similar to Eternal Sonata, and that's why I enjoyed that one. And the story was well driven. If you played with the English voiceover work,
Yeah.
it was funny
And it
because
had
the
Mr.
Welsh
Drip.
accent. Yeah, Mr. Drippy's Welsh was brilliant. You try and play that with the Japanese on, it's not going to come across funny. It needed that Welsh, but
I would imagine...
with Child of Light,
I would
go on.
imagine Drippy, they probably did give him some sort of dialect in the Japanese version that would be only funny to people from, Japan.
Yeah.
Because they have different sort of dialects, don't they? So,
Yeah.
whatever.
So, not to me. No.
Yeah.
Not from Japanese. Right. And so the difference with this one as well, the quirk with this game then, is that there'll be a bar running across the bottom of the screen, and it will show you, like when you go to the fairground rides and that machine where you chuck balls in and all the horses go across on those little pegs,
Yeah.
you can affect the speed of those horses, right? By
Okay.
chucking your ball in. But with this, it shows you who's going to be attacking based on that, and they'll be going along at their speeds based on their stats. You have the ability to slow them down, or try and increase your own speed and so on. But it's not always played to your advantage to try and slow them down, because you get to a point where you can cast a move, and then it takes a while to manipulate to actually give that move out. And in that moment, you're vulnerable. So if somebody else was attacking, you would lose your turn and go back, and you got to try and work around it to get it like that. And that's the bit I'm enjoying. It's quite tactical.
See, that sounds great, right? If you didn't use that analogy beforehand, and then in my head, all I hear is da 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 da. That's all I can hear. You've ruined that. Fucking horse ride, man. God damn
I
it.
went somewhere I went once. They had camels instead. It just didn't have the
I
don't
think I
know.
might have seen that.
same. Yeah.
Oh god. But
fucking hell.
all right, do you think it's something that I personally would enjoy, because they've been selling it on the fact that it's really sort of like a children's fairy tale come to life, right? Like from the
Yeah.
artwork and stuff as well. This is why I didn't sort of jump on board straight away. Usually I'm all for any sort of like new RPG, but this one I was hesitant. So
No, I mean it. Like in terms of control, it flows perfectly when you're out in the world. There is a puzzle element in there as well, and the narration's all in rhyme as well. I mean that's part of the fairy tale thing, I suppose. But I think the watercolor finish is really nice as well. It's worth a go for like £12, and you're gonna get like a 16-hour game. I don't think you can argue.
definitely gonna have to take a look at it now. I can't disregard your singing praise there, man. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
What else you been up to, dude?
that'll do.
That'll do, will it?
Yeah, Spidey's out tomorrow,
You
so
fucking
I'll be on.
ain't getting no more, you bastard.
Give you a preview of next week that I'll be playing Spider-Man.
I wonder if it'll be good. It's been so long since Web of Shadows, man. Whatever. Gianni,
Yeah.
what have you been up to this week, dude?
I finally picked up Guacamelee again. Absolutely great. I'm really enjoyed it. It's good fun. Solid ads. If you play on hard, it's so hard. Really, yeah. But then I've never been good at combos and shit. So, but yeah, there's that. And an honourable mention has to go to one of the games that came out yesterday on PlayStation Plus. A few of you guys have seen my tweets. My God, what's it called?
Yeah. Stick it to the man.
Stick It to the Man. That's the one. Now, you read the
Gianni wasn't a
reviews.
fan, yeah.
You see the scores. People are liking it to a game that Tim Schafer would created. First of all, everyone keeps calling it a point and click. It's not a fucking point and click. Right? Let's just get that clear. It's not a point and click.
We're putting that down straight away. It's not a fucking point and click, alright?
It's not a fucking point and click.
Stop calling it a fucking point and click.
Right. Right. The other thing is, it's god awful. It's
Point
It's
two,
a-
it's fucking shit, alright?
it's awful. Right. I don't really delete any games. I haven't deleted any game off my PS4 just yet. I don't think since I've had it at launch. But that one I had to. It was. I don't like the.
Give us
graphic.
Give us a brief rundown of what this game entails, Gianni.
You have to point and click, yeah.
Yeah. Right. If you read all the reviews, you have to point and click, and it's absolutely hilarious. It's not funny. It's embarrassing. They try and crack a joke, and you're like, oh god. I don't know what age group they're going for here, but unless you've got an IQ of more than what a 2-year-old would have, then it's awful.
So
I really don't like
compare
it.
it to anything.
I compare it a little bit. Actually, yeah, Little Big Planet, right? It's like a. For those who don't know, the graphical style is like a.
Johnny has left the call.
Don't leave. Don't leave. It's not worth it. Yeah, so it's like a cutouts of a paper cutouts. And you're this guy who gets knocked on the head, and he ends up with what can only be described as. Do you remember those things you used to have as kids, where they were like stretchy hands and you used to stick? And you can grab like pieces of paper. And
Yes, I
Right.
do.
So one of those-
I only really remember them because when Star Wars Episode 1 came out, there was little Jar Jar heads that you could flick the tongue out like that.
Yeah. So you got one of those attached to the top of your head, right?
Okay.
For the sole purpose of grabbing items and sticking them to other places. So again, stop me when this stops sounding anything like Little Big Planet, right? So you
Yeah.
can use these things and stick them to something else, and it sets something else off, right? But it's not executed half as well. It's also described as a puzzler, but it will say something in the lines of, "Oh, I need my dog," and you jump over a couple of platforms, and their dog's there, and then you carry on going, and there's a pirate. You grab a phone, give it to the dog. The puzzles aren't difficult in the slightest. It's not smart in anything that they do. It's not charming. It actually looks like an old Cartoon Network. It's like someone took. I'm tempted to
Like
say
Courage the
Ed and Eddie.
Cowardly
or
Yeah, Ed, and
Yeah.
Eddie, yeah.
any one of those, and sort of try to make it. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's awful.
Hepatitis riddled 90s cartoon.
I'd just like to point out, right, that I didn't edit anything of what Gianni just said, right? It's just that the rage that he's feeling towards this game has made it sound like I've cut random bits out of his dialogue. But
Yeah. Anyway,
Samples bag.
it's weird because it's voiced by apparently it's voiced by one of the guys who did Beavis and Butthead, or the guy, I don't know.
Well, didn't Mike Judge voice both of those characters?
Probably.
I'll have to
I
look
don't
now.
know.
You carry on, I'll have a little butchers.
And the dialogue was written by the guy who does the Adventure Time comics. His name escapes me at the moment, but it's just a disaster. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, don't listen to the reviews. If you've got PlayStation Plus, you got it for free. It's the only shame is you can't trade it back in. So give it a go. You can have your own opinion of it, but I think it's absolutely horrendous. It's awful.
There
Just
you
play
go.
Little Big Planet. Just play Little Big Planet.
Gianni's verdict: avoid it like the plague.
Yeah. That's all I've really been doing. I was going to get onto the Vita game that came out on PlayStation Plus, but I've run out of time because of
Mirror Master
Sucker.
Rebirth.
That's the one. Have either used?
No, I didn't even know it came out. That's awesome, though. I'm
that's...
downloading that shiz as soon as we're finished, man.
We
I
can
bought it
talk
in
about it
sale.
next week.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Awesome.
It'll
It'll give
be
me something to play because this week,
Have them.
shocker, I haven't really played anything.
Bollocks.
Honestly, I haven't really played anything. I've done like a few hours of Dark Souls PC when that came out. I started a run to record where I was gonna try using a faith build because I hadn't done that on the PS3 version. But I was playing like absolute trash, which will be seen, I guess, in the videos eventually when they go out. I played a little bit more Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm kind of burning out on that game. Like, I've played too much over the last few weeks that I don't really want to keep playing it. And I played a little bit of Last Remnant, which was in my opinion, a pretty good RPG that Square Enix released last generation. But a lot of people didn't seem to like it, and I'm assuming it didn't sell very well. But that game's pretty fun, man. I think it's underrated, and it's constantly popping up in Steam sales for like £3. Like, if you like JRPGs, definitely check this game out. Even if you played it on the Xbox and like you thought, this game's alright, but there's too many issues with the frame rate and stuff. There's none of that in the PC version. Like, the PC version is the definitive version of this game, and if you can get it for about £3, please do so because it's really good.
I think I will pick that up. It does seem pretty good. I've been meaning to get it, and it looks interesting. It's the fighting's different combat, which is
Yeah.
I'll give that
I
a go.
didn't hate it at all. I actually thought I could see what they were doing. It wasn't fantastic, but
Gianni didn't hate it. That has to be you.
no, I mean I could see. It almost felt like it was a development for they were trying out a few things for other games, if that makes sense.
See,
So-
I understand that feeling, man, but the PC version does not feel like that, man. The PC version feels complete. There was a few things with the Xbox version where like you could only have 2 generals and the rest of them had to be random troops in your units. You should probably point out that this game, instead of having individual party members, you have like a group of 6 party members who form a unit, and they're like one character if you compare it to other games. Whereas in the PC version, there's no limit. You can build your parties however you want. There's no like limitation on you can only have these characters, and then the rest have to be random soldiers.
That's awesome.
It's really, really good. It's a lot better than it was on Xbox, man. But yeah, I was just playing that to kill time. Another thing I want to say, if you haven't seen it already, and I don't watch a lot of sports anime, right? But Kuroko's Basketball, or Kuroko no Basket, is really, really good. Singing recommendation from somebody who doesn't watch a lot of sports anime, that show is awesome. I watched the entire first season of that this week, and I'm just starting the second season. That show is fantastic, man.
Is there a sub-genre?
Yeah, there's loads of sports anime, man. I just choose not to watch them.
It's
like
it's a
Hajime no
dark
Ippo, the
dark
boxing
underworld out
one,
there.
or the Prince of Tennis. That's another one that's been running for ages. I just choose not
No.
to watch any of them, man. But Kuroko's basketball is really damn good, so check that shit out.
I do.
Anyway, onto more pertinent things. Let's we're coming up to E3. We mentioned it in the last podcast. Nintendo have just released a video about their plans for E3. Have you guys all seen it?
The Mega
Indeed.
64 one.
The
Yeah.
Mega 64 one.
Yeah.
All right. Firstly, what do you guys think of the video?
Definitely Mega 64. No, it's funny. It's funny.
That is what I thought. By the end of that video, I just thought, well, I've just watched every other Mega 64 video, man. Not that that's
Yeah.
bad. Mega 64 consistently make me laugh, but I feel like Nintendo, they're trying to make up for the fact that they've been absolutely dreadful in like the past few years with like not communicating with fans and stuff, but the way they approach the online space. Because we've spoke about it on the podcast loads of times with like certain things that they've been doing which are counterproductive in the current online space, you know, like flagging videos and stuff, or claiming monetization on content that shows some of their content, things like that. We spoke about that before, but now it seems like they know that was fucking stupid and they're trying to sort it out, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of. I see what you mean.
To play a bit of devil's advocate, does it not sound a bit like when Microsoft sort of backtracked on a lot of stuff because of the hate they were getting with the Xbox One? I'm
But
just playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying it's not an opinion of mine. I'm just
they're still backtracking now, aren't they? But they in the form and you know the blossom that comes from this then is that they've got a new man in charge there at Microsoft, and they're looking at that as pinpointing the way forward. Nintendo seem to be still relying on Iwata to do his business, and I don't know. There's still a long way to go to change things, but the best thing about this video you're talking about, the Mega 64 one, is I watched it, and as I was watching it, I thought, hang on, this seems a bit wrong, and then I found out, you know, it's on the official Nintendo YouTube page. This is an official video. This wasn't like a joke parody video. This was real. And then obviously the big reveal is when Reggie's actually in there playing, like being a really good sport, I might add, and like playing along himself. And that's when I started to realize, shit, this is Nintendo trying, you know, actually trying.
The Reggie Fils-a mech, man.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. The reason I say that is because there was the issue with them on YouTube and stuff and across the internet with the way they were handling things. And by going to a really well-known sort of online personality or group of personalities like Mega 64 to do the video for them, that clearly shows some forward thinking on their part. And the content of the video itself, one of the big things that they announced is that there's going to be a Smash Brothers tournament, an invitational that they're holding themselves, and at the same time there's going to be booths in Best Buys across America where, whilst that invitational is happening, people can go in and try Smash Bros as well, which I think is awesome. But there's also the fact that I don't know whether they mentioned it explicitly, but I'm fairly sure that this invitational tournament might be being streamed as well.
Yeah, so the whole thing, like, E3 is going to run from the 10th to the 12th of June. They're holding a Nintendo digital event on the 9th of June, so they're not calling it a direct this year. It's going to be the Nintendo digital event, and through that, they're going to be hosting the Smash Bros. Tournament as well.
Which is awesome, because you remember there was a lot of issues with them not wanting Smash Bros. To be streamed in, I wish I could remember the name of that fighting game league. Or
Was
event.
it Evo? I can't remember.
Evo, that's the one! Fucking Evo. So there was issues where they didn't want Smash Bros. To be streamed at Evo, and people sort of were in uproar about that. And I think this is a good way to sort of address that, especially if it turns out that after this they're absolutely fine with the new Smash Bros. Being at Evo and stuff. Like, it's a good way to change the way that the internet sees them as a company. Basically, they're moving in the right direction, I think.
Do you think Reggie's the poster boy for Nintendo?
Reggie's
Yeah,
always
definitely.
been the poster boy for
But
Nintendo.
like, I mean, if, for example, then he might not be the brains enough to do it. But like, let's say someone like him was the face of Nintendo instead of Iwata, but he had people writing everything for him, almost like he's a president, you know, like a proper president of the United States or something.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that would work better than the way things are going with Iwata now?
I think Reggie, due to the fact that he's got such a big presence online with the memes and stuff, right? Like, as a face for the public, Reggie should be the face of Nintendo, definitely. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Everyone loves Miyamoto, right? Miyamoto is, for all intents and purposes, like the father of modern gaming, right?
But he's one game away from going, though. That's the thing.
So I mean, he's always going to get respect and stuff, but he's not as entertaining to watch as Reggie. Like,
no.
And Iwata definitely ain't as entertaining to watch as Reggie.
So when we get these Nintendo Directs, the embarrassment. I'll talk about the latest one in a minute, but yeah, they should just be hosted by Reggie, right? If they're going to be talking in English anyway to give it to the Western audience, surely we would rather have Reggie hosting them.
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, definitely.
And I think that would actually bring in an audience to watch them because nobody's watching them anymore.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on there, man. Like, if they want to keep using Iwata for the Japanese Nintendo Directs, fair play to them. But over in the West, like, it should be Reggie. If there's announcements and stuff like Nintendo Direct, I think Reggie should be the one hosting them. Because, like, Reggie is the closest thing. Reggie's the closest thing they have to, like, a marketable personality within their company.
Yeah.
So,
you know, the online petition to get him in Smash Bros. And the use of My Body Is Ready and, you know, things like this. They're not taking the piss out of him. They're laughing at him with him. You know, it's fun, isn't it? And it's
because he's the face of that company, man. Like, to online gamers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Sony's got loads at the moment. Like, they're doing a big push on, like, sort of being likable. Like, Mark Cerny's voice is just like fucking butter on your ears, man. He can narrate anything that they want to do if he wants. And Adam Boyes as well, he's been really active in the community. Like, I didn't even know who he was before last E3. Now he's like one of my favourite executives in the business, man. Just from how he handles himself and stuff. And Shu as well. I'm guessing Shuhei is a big the sort of big push behind that change of, like, rather than being all business-like, being more sort of friendly and, like, social media orientated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that they've sort of given an example that people should follow, and I think Nintendo they're moving towards that.
So are they missing out this year at E3 again? Last year we had Nintendo Direct. Nobody gave a shit. This year they're going to do a digital event the day before again. It's almost like they're shunning E3, but at the same time just trying to keep the door open and look in. Wouldn't you just put Reggie on fucking stage and say, let's do this. Let's put this Nintendo Treehouse up there. Let's have a look what's going on. Let's just show all these games that we've been hiding. Let's say Smash Bros. Is coming out in August. Just fucking have it all. Right?
I don't see why they're not doing an event this year. I mean, last year they had basically nothing to show. That's why they didn't do an event. But this year, it looks like they've got stuff that they want to show. There's new things going on with them, so why not have an actual E3 press conference?
Okay, there's one thing I want to add, though, to this, just before we move on. Do you think that the reason why they're not going to E3 is it's not the cost because of the money they've got, but the viewing figures? You get a certain amount of people there, hands-on and all that, but there's such extensive coverage afterwards. Most people follow it all up online anyway, so maybe they're just thinking of it like that.
Maybe, but I try and watch E3 live every year, or as much of it as I can. Like, the press conferences, I try and hit live every year. Even if it's 2 in the morning or something, man, I usually stay up.
We did last year, didn't we? We watched all of them on Skype, and it was worth it. It was good.
Yeah, but this is what I mean, though.
If I was them, I would run an event, and I would invite a host of celebrities to come along. A couple of years ago, when the Xbox 360 went slim, they had an event the day before E3. They invited all those celebs. They put on a bit of a show. Oh, your Xbox Slims are under your chairs, and then it was out the next day. And that was better than anything Nintendo have done at E3 for years. them just giving away fucking consoles under the chairs was more exciting than Nintendo doing a direct last year.
Didn't
Stupid.
something similar happen with Oprah and a bunch of Wii's? I know that wasn't Nintendo
Oprah
Direct.
does it every week, man. That's Oprah's thing. Under your chairs, you've got free something or another. Like,
Did they not just steal that? I don't know.
One of you has 5 syringes taped to the underside of your chair. The others have Nintendo Wii's. You can't look. Fucking hell.
Right, if you said Wii U's, I
fucking
think most
Oprah.
people would have gone, where's the syringe?
Yeah.
oh, I see what you did there. Oh well, let's
yeah,
let's move on to Flash news, man.
Yeah, before someone mentioned
Sorry,
the
Jamie,
heroin
did you
drink.
want to add something before we hit
Well,
Flash news?
All I was going to say is, okay, we're 5 weeks away. We'll come up with a way to do something about it. Never mind. It doesn't matter. We'll do something. We're going to be like watching them again, aren't we? We're going to do it all.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
like the way we did last year, summing up each press conference individually and then doing a video for Nintendo Direct. I think worked really well.
Yeah.
We'll probably do something along those lines. Maybe a slight change to the format that was.
Now we've got 10 listeners instead of 1. Right.
Yeah.
Flash news. Flash news. Right. So right. Watch Dogs season pass. Of course, there's a season pass. It's bringing a new playable character in the shape of Nolan North. He'll have some side missions, and you'll go in and do some single player stuff. Just as Nolan North, you get to go to a coffee shop and sort out your divorce papers for the day. Right. Mass Effect Trilogy has been listed by a Chilean website, probably like Amazon.ch or whatever they're called, I don't know. And it's been listed for next gen, and then they had to take it down again. Ben, would you buy Mass Effect again?
On PS4, yeah, probably. If there was noticeable upgrades to it. One thing I will add to this, they were kicking the idea around. I know that it came out that they were talking about doing it, but there's been no confirmation, so this is the closest we've got to an actual confirmation. I would totally... This is a big if they release the Mass Effect Trilogy on PlayStation 4, even if it's not that upgraded, but it contains all the DLC, I'll be on it in a flash.
I'm sure it will.
In a Flash news. By the way, I don't know the marital status of Nolan North or his personal life. You can definitely go to a coffee shop with him though. I just bought it again on PS3 because I played the whole thing on Xbox 360, so I'm just doing it all again on PS3 now. And yeah, I've had to buy all the DLC separately, but fuck it. When you've got DLC that's better than some games that get released, you might as well. Disney Infinity again. Bit more on the 2.0. They've actually had an event this week, and they've shown off some of the characters. And yes, please, right. So when you get the base pack this time, it is another game. It is another base thing like you expect with every fucking Skylanders game. And you get the Avengers level pack. So that's going to be one of the levels in there. They've confirmed that there's at least 18 Marvel superheroes and villains and whatnot in there. The likes of Hulk, Rocket Raccoon's in there. That's, I'm all over that. And there'll be Loki, of course. Got to play as Loki. But they've also confirmed there'll be some non-Marvel stuff going on in there as well. I saw something, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, where it looked like a bit of a spoiler that Roger Rabbit was going to be in there. So, yeah.
What a time to bring that up as well,
No,
man.
That's the end of leave it alone. That's
Alright.
the end of Flash. Right. Don't. I'll start crying while I'm trying to read this stuff out. Right. Drive Club is coming out on the 10th of October, and that's 11 months late, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
so October 10th here, a couple of days earlier in the States. A bit more on last week. We were talking about Naughty Dog having all those departures. Well, now Michael Nolan, the lead character artist from The Last of Us, he's also gone. But he's gone off to work with Amy Hennig as well, so I think, right? So that's a lot of them now that are just fucking jumping
Yeah,
out of
what's
Naughty
going
Dog.
on? Yeah.
Is it some sort of sinking ship?
I don't know.
Maybe Nathan Drake is having a coffee and sorting out his divorce papers. Fucking hell, right? Anyway, the Curve Studios. You wouldn't know them by name, would you?
Probably not.
They made Stealth Inc.
Oh, yes.
But,
Oh,
right, here's
oh.
the time. Right now, you need a Wii U because Stealth Inc. 2 is a Wii U exclusive, guys.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Which is quite interesting. I was reading an article about it. I was trying to find it. It was about Sony and their drive with indie games. But it's quite interesting because they've had like quite a good relationship with Sony, but their reasons for the Wii U are actually quite sound. They said there's not very much out for it, so we can exploit a gap in the market because there's like X amount of million consoles sold and not a lot of competition.
Fair enough. I hope it works out for them.
X amount, as in like it's an obscenity, so it's all X'd out.
Is it X
It's
and
just,
Nintendo won't tell us the figures?
Fucking disgusting. Hurry up and sell them, you bastards. On that note, though, the new Nintendo Direct that came out yesterday, it was like the Sesame Street of Nintendo Directs, right? The way they were talking was so patronising. I wanted to punch the people doing it. Like, Iwata just introduced it, and then he fucked off somewhere. Probably, like, to throw darts at a Reggie board. And then it was just these two people just narrating all this gameplay. And then they actually had a race. They showed this race, and they were commentating on it. Like, it was like fucking Formula 1 or something. Go and watch it just for that. It's disgusting.
A race in Mario Kart.
Yeah. No, like in the offices of Nintendo on
What?
fucking wheelies. Yeah. But it's worth watching, but you might want to turn the volume down. Because I must say, the game's looking amazing. Like,
Yeah, it does look good.
it's so nice to see like this souped up, proper HD Mario Kart just looking the sex. And I can't wait for it. That might sell a few consoles. Just a few.
It's only 10 years too late.
But it's got to be better than Mario Kart 7, hasn't it? So we'll see.
Or Double Dash.
No,
I like
not
Double
but
Dash.
Shut
Yeah,
up,
like
shut up!
Double
It sucked, just admit it.
Mario Kart DS all the way. Anyway, that's it for games. But I should have probably come up with this in the what have I been doing this week. But I've got a bit of a Simpsons fetish going on again at the moment. Did I say fetish? Did I really just say fucking
Yeah,
fetish?
you did.
I might have meant obsession.
Looking up some of that Marge Simpson hentai. Yeah.
I love the way
One's
you
where
even know that exists.
One's where you can choose the fuck speed and if she's wearing socks or not.
Yeah, that one.
Oh my god.
Before this
Repressed
just-
memories
before
of
this just, like-
GSC.
Before this just goes into some sort of chaotic fucktard thing right now, that was a text I sent to Ben earlier about the hentai that he plays and that you can change the fuck speed and if they're wearing socks or not. Right.
It's very important, man. Whether they wear
But-
socks or not.
May the 4th, be it Star Wars Day, whatever, it's also Lego
Okay,
Simpsons
okay.
Day. I'm looking forward to that episode. So check it out. It'll be online. It's on in America
It's
on May
a
4th.
Simpsons episode in the style of the Lego movie, correct?
They're all completely like Lego, and from what I can see from the plot, it looks like Homer starts having visions of himself in his normal form, and he starts to think that might be how it's supposed to be. So they're not giving away too much, but it looks funny as fuck. And yeah, it's been a while since I've enjoyed Simpsons, but I've just got back into it recently. Definitely. Yeah, it lost its touch when Brad Bird left, and then they seem to be picking up the pace again recently. But yeah, right. We had Amazing Spider-Man a couple of weeks ago. Did we talk about it? We might have done.
I think we
It's just
spoke
come out
about it
in
because we
America.
always see it.
Just come out in the States this week, and there's a thing you can do on your phone called Shazam. And in the credits, it would come up with a new scene that we didn't get over here, and it's basically a reveal for the Sinister Six. So as we're not going to get it, I might as well just spoil it right now.
Do it.
They basically showcase Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Rhino, Vulture, Kraven the Hunter, and then what looks like either Mysterio or the Chameleon. I would prefer Mysterio. We'll see. Right? I don't know.
You want to know why? You want to know why that movie is not going to work very well? Because they're
the origin.
introducing like 4 of those villains or whatever in their own film. Like,
Right. This is something I was talking to you about off air, almost, yeah. Is that Andrew Garfield only has a contract to do one more, and he's made it very clear that he wants to get out as soon as that's done. He's got no intentions of carrying on. And there's still works for 2 more Spider-Man films. Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then I'm guessing they're talking about the Sinister 6 one now, right? Because they can't all just show up in Amazing Spider-Man 3. That has to still work as some sort of origin.
yeah.
Right? Am I right? But then that also
Yeah.
could work. He's hinting that Miles Morales, the guy who becomes the Ultimate Spider-Man, like when they made all that shock horror first Black Spider-Man thing happen.
Yeah, in the Ultimate series of comics, Peter Parker dies and Miles takes over as Spider-Man. He's like a black kid.
Yeah, so that, if they do that, that's a way to keep it going without having to relaunch your hero,
Yeah, man.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I think it could work, to be honest. It would be a shame, because Garfield is like the perfect fucking Spider-Man, Peter Parker, I think. But who knows, man? Maybe the person they get to take over could be just as good.
He's made it clear now, though. He's 30 years old playing a 20-year-old, and he's just probably had enough, I think. So you can't keep playing a 20-year-old forever.
Yeah.
Those sort of websites will get you in trouble. Right. And then I wasn't really going to talk about it, but then you were talking about it before we went on, and that's the Star Wars Episode 7 casting. Now, the reason I wasn't going to talk about it is because I don't see it as being a massively important thing right now. Like, you named the guy from Attack the Block, right?
Yeah, John Boyega.
Right, so fair play, because he was good in Attack the Block, so that's quite exciting. But from what I could see from that round table reading that they had, it just, nothing excited me there. It's always nice to see Mark Hamill doing Joker. His work on Star Wars, he was a prick. So I want him gone. Fucking, what's his name? Han Solo.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford's an absolute prick.
Yeah.
Really? Not a fan of
real
Harrison
life.
Ford.
In real life.
That's why here.
Can't stand him. He's shit in Anchorman as well. Just tell him to fuck off now. But no, he's really arrogant and stuff. I just can't be bothered with some of these actors. Like, somebody like J.J. Abrams, who went from doing shit like Lost to actually making Star Trek watchable.
Yeah.
Right? He's got an opportunity to make Star Wars watchable again.
How do you know he's not going to? How do you
He
know?
might.
How do you know that in the first 10 minutes all the original cast aren't going to be killed off?
They
that
could
could
do
happen.
that. But then
It
like,
won't
no,
happen
it
because
won't,
it's a Disney
because
film. But
Harrison Ford's just took the biggest pay packet he's ever going to have in his life. And that's why Mark Hamill's back, let's be honest. Right?
well, Mark Hamill hated Star Wars because
Yeah.
he was the star of that trilogy, and Harrison Ford is the one who became the fucking global superstar off of it, and he didn't basically.
But then they need to realise this sort of thing can happen from time to time. Look at Tom Hiddleston. He's like the biggest thing out of Marvel, like I think.
That's true.
And like he was already on his way without playing Loki, but you know, he's got the brightest future out of all of them now. Do it. That's a good example. Mark Hamill, don't be so stupid.
Alright.
And like, yeah, don't spoil it earlier, but you know, we lost Bob Hoskins this week, man.
Which is sad face, man.
Yeah.
I was
actually couldn't
genuinely
believe it.
yeah, same here. I was
Yeah.
really upset, and I shouldn't
didn't
be
realise-
because he's just a fucking actor. I shouldn't really give a shit. But I genuinely felt a bit sad when I heard about that.
He did a lot of love films, and I didn't know he was 71. I didn't
Yeah,
realise he was that.
he retired in 2012, so his last film was actually that Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, he was in
and-
that.
He did a good job in that. The dwarfs were probably the best thing about that film because old Twilight Bitch was just Twilight Bitch,
Yeah.
and Charlize Theron, I don't think she can act at all.
What films has she even been in?
Aeon Flux, yeah, well done with that one.
I haven't seen that.
Right? Prometheus,
Who was she in that?
she'd be the captain
She was
of
the
the
alien.
ship, man.
She was the alien, was she?
No.
To
She was
be
the
honest,
captain.
I know her name, but I couldn't put a face to it.
She
And
does all those perfume adverts where she just drops her clothes off.
no, I can't even put her name to that face. So that shows how much impact she has when she acts, because I just do not know who she is.
Hang on though, I'm trying to say goodbye to Bob Hoskins, not talk about.
Alright, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my wife turned to me and she said, "Oh, it's not Bill Murray though, is it?" And in a way, she's right, because when Bill Murray dies, I will just lock the door and mourn for a couple of days. But it's still sad to know that like I was one of the only people that liked that Mario film.
I know. I was gonna
Now,
say
now there's
there's
no chance of a sequel
you've been carrying the torch for that film for as long as I've known you.
because it's important to me, and that's why when some people die, it's sad, but when they've had no impact on your life, then that's all it is. It's
Who-
just sad
mate,
that somebody died.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was like my childhood, man. I used to watch
Yeah,
that
me
film
too.
so much. So
Well,
that's
it's as old as you, isn't it? It's 25 years old, that film. So.
yeah. So I mean, just purely for the fact that he was in that film and I watched it so much as a kid, like it makes me feel sad now that I know that he's dead. Like, sad face, man. We can end this podcast on a downer.
Yeah. Well, not a downer. Just, great respect for the man.
And Ben's going to go Google search Charlie's Theron. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we take away from today.
That is
Oh,
going to happen
yeah.
as soon as we're done. Is there anything else on the Flash news?
Oh, I'm all done.
You're done. We're all done.
And
If you want to get in contact with us, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at gsc_games. If you want to follow any of us individually, our Twitter tags will be down in the description. And I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a bit of a short one, but that's fine. And we'll see everyone next week.
Short one.
Bit of a
Normal
short
format.
one.
as we
short
said,
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
bye.
It's a mega black.